like if I'm selling toothpaste or a toothbrush, my target audience is not everybody with teeth, right? It might be 3-time divorced truck drivers because I'm selling travel size, right?
Right.
And so you can go hyper specific on the customer avatar and win them, sell the same product to multiple customer sets.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
You've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
Stephen, thank you for joining us today. We're all excited to hear your story and what it is that you do for businesses. But before we jump into my Amazon guy, can you tell us a little bit about your history and where you're from?
Yeah, I learned how to drive in Utah. I think that's the best way to put it. And so I have a really strong background in all things digital e-commerce. But I fell in love with the ability to go B2C with a consumer and sell a product. And so the first product I ever sold online was a Magic the Gathering trading card on eBay. And I sold it as age 12, sold it for $20. It was a Sliver Queen for the super nerds out there. And it was really fun. Like, I was like, whoa, this is really cool. I got $20 in my pocket. I'm 12 years old and I sold something online. Like, this thing called e-commerce is just amazing.
Right.
And ever since then, I've been, doing that. And I side hustled for years. I worked for these failed startups. I worked for these other companies. And at one point, it came about that I had more side hustle consulting income coming in than my main income. And at that point, I was like, maybe I should start doing this for myself. Tired of making millions of dollars for everybody else. Let's go out and be on my own. And I'll be honest, I'm a true blood entrepreneur, like 10 out of 10, high drive, impatient, just enough detail orientation to build a system, introverted. So I'm a giant, hostile person, hold people accountable kind of guy. And so with that in mind, I started my Amazon guy. And within 2 business days, I had signed my first client. And it was a $3,000 per month official agency contract.
Okay.
And this client is called Fit Life Brands. They are still a client today, more than 4 years later. And so we were able to grow them substantially. They're a publicly traded company, so I can't release their numbers, but it's substantial enough reason to keep an agency around for 4 years. And so I went from being just my Amazon guy, and now today we have 330 employees around the world, over 300 brands that we manage on Amazon.
Wonderful. And so a company comes to you when they already have a product and service, or when they are thinking about building a product?
Yeah, it is. So we don't build or source the product.
Okay.
We take somebody who's got the product ready and we take them to market. So we're a digital marketing wing. So if you've invented something, whether you're blue collar and you just, built it in your garage, or you're white collar and you're going overseas to China and ordering in bulk, or using Alibaba, or anywhere in between, we'll take a product, we'll create a launch plan, and we'll launch it on Amazon. We also work with major retailers and brands, some that are a household name here and there, and we work in any vertical, any price point. Supplements is one of the higher margin categories, and it's also the hardest one to sell in. It's also where all the cheating occurs, all the Chinese black hat tactics, and it's dog eat dog world. But
Yes.
we have almost 50 supplement clients, so we're one of the most knowledgeable when it comes to dealing with some of those constraints.
Wow. So you're doing 50 supplement brands on Amazon.
Yes.
So if the company's coming to you, you're their Amazon marketing piece?
Yeah. So everything we do can be boiled down into 2 categories: traffic generation and conversion improvements. Under traffic, you can put pay-per-click advertising and search engine optimization. We're one of the few Amazon agencies in the world that even talks about SEO, or search engine optimization. And we actually have a 4-phase plan that we run. We're super in depth, and we go from indexing a keyword all the way up to ranking the keyword to increasing the market share. So that's on the traffic side. On the conversion side, we do everything that requires the merchandise to be put onto Amazon. So platform management. We also troubleshoot problems as they come up. Honestly, most agencies don't even have a catalog or an SEO department. They're just like, oh, pay us money and we'll do PPC for you. And that's great because they make a lot of money doing that. PPC management's a high margin business. But the lower end of the margin, and this is why most agencies don't go full service, is because it's very complicated to run the catalog. And then we haven't even talked about design yet, right? So like design has some of the even lowest margins in the space, and it's the fastest growing sector right now. So Amazon's coming out with premium A+ content. They used to charge $250,000 a year to get access to these modules. And now for the first time, as of this week, you can now get beta access as a seller. And so these are ways to market to more consumers and see beautiful designs that are aesthetically pleasing.
And so when you're talking about all these things, you're talking about in the Amazon platform, not their
Correct.
website. So
Correct.
they're responsible for selling off of Amazon. You take that Amazon piece, help them build out the pages, landing pages, SEO. When you talk about SEO inside Amazon, are you talking about an Amazon search engine?
Amazon search engine is the largest product search engine in the United States. It passed Google well over 5 years ago. But you don't hear about Amazon SEO search engine. Like you don't hear about SEO experts on Amazon. It just doesn't exist. So we created the vertical essentially.
Does that also play into SEO off of Amazon?
It can.
Because it's all indexable, right?
It can. For example, you can set the meta description of a brand store for Amazon. And for most brands, the brand store for Amazon is in the top 5 search results. Anybody listening to this right now, if you have a brand on Amazon, I dare you, go Google it. If it's not in the top 5, it's because you just haven't built the brand store yet, because it should be in the top 5.
When you Google it, if you have the brand store set up correctly, you'll be in the top 5 stores.
Correct. And then the meta description, which is the SEO code behind to tell the search engine what the store is selling and what it does, can rank for non-branded terms. That's a huge benefit. So can the detail pages and the ASINs and the product specs and all that stuff too as well. There's also more complicated things like putting alt text behind photos, which you can do in the A+ content, which totally indexes, and putting crawlable text as well into enhanced brand content. So like having 500 words of copy into your designs that are not inside of the photos is counterintuitive to e-commerce, right? Because like you want to have these nice, pretty, pristine things to convert the consumer. But on Amazon, text is for the robots, pictures are for the humans. And there's so many damn ads on Amazon, right? Like they are running out of space. There's more ads on your own listing. Like you go to your own listing right now and you see 100 ads for somebody else's product. So what that translates to is that you have to take up as much space as possible to defend your turf. And then you need to teach the search engine why your product's the most relevant for any particular keyword.
And I'm assuming you do that by creating bullet points that overcome the problems that the product solves.
You tell the story of the product in every attribute available, from the title to the bullets to the description to the A+ content, the search terms, and the photos, and everywhere in between.
So the A+ content, you've said this a couple of times, is that the piece that's now becoming available to consumers, or
there's a new premium A+ content that's coming out, and you have to have built 25 A+ contents to get access to it. So A+ content is relatively new too. That came out about 4 or 5 years ago to Seller Central brands. And it used to only be available to like your corporate brick and mortar, the Yetis of the world, if you will. Right. And so that's been available. But now there's a premium A+ content where now you can stick more modules and put video content and interact with the consumer. And instead of having like a thin widget, you have a thick widget. And so there's just a lot more you're going to be able to do. And so like Amazon is a never ending optimization, right? And so like if anybody goes to my website, myamazonguy.com, and clicks on our full service, they'll see like a cycle, right? Like it's a never ending cycle. You never stop working on PPC. Same thing with SEO though. Like it's not set it and forget it. You wouldn't set up a $20,000 PPC campaign on any platform and then never go in and change the bids. It'd be ludicrous. But that's exactly what everybody does with SEO and design. And they just set it up and they're like, oh, I'm done, right? I just move on to the next thing. And so like we really sell into the fact that these are a cycle. You have to continuously optimize, A/B test, and change things up. And one of the other things about A/B testing keywords in SEO is that it's a rotational game. It's not a zero-sum game. You have the ability to index for 5 keywords. So in my hand here, I've got a beer glass. I have brands on Amazon myself. This is one of the glasses that I designed. This is the way, right? So I'm ripping off Disney. And so good old Star Wars beer glass. Well, for this particular beer glass, if I can rank it for This Is the Way, or if I can rank it for funny beer glass or Star Wars beer glass, if I end up taking the word funny beer glass out of my title and inserting something else to make room for it, maybe I translate it to Spanish or do something unique or creative, then I can keep my rank on funny beer glass and still show up at the top of Amazon while simultaneously index and show up for new keywords. So by rotating keywords in your titles and your information, you maintain the old rankings while gaining new ones. This is not true on Google for the most part, right? If you do this for a regular website and you change your HTML title, you could lose your rankings overnight by not having it in the HTML title. But on Amazon, you can rotate things and really get some additional value.
But on Amazon, you really have 5 keywords that you can hit. Google unlimited in reality.
There are thousands of keywords a listing could rank for on Amazon, actually. An average listing will index for about 2,000 keywords. So if you're above that number, you're doing great. If you're below that number, you have room to improve.
So the more ranking, obviously the more ranking you get, the better. And Amazon SEO, basically, if you get them to land on your product, it's not PPC, so you're not as concerned with relevance to the product, but it's important. I mean, it increases your conversions if you get it, but you're looking for traffic, like old school, get people there.
Yes and no, right? If you have a low converting, non-relevant keyword, that could hurt your listing and de-rank you. That's a fact. But the fact is, you have the ability to rank for keywords and be findable by consumers in ways that may not be intuitive. And I have a great case study on this. But basically, the ability to increase market share on a word that may or may not be relevant for a product is super interesting.
That's amazing. On the Spanish, I was watching the other day, I saw Joe Rogan and Mr. Beast on a podcast the other day. And I thought it was funny that Mr. Beast looked at Joe Rogan and said, you know, I'm surprised that you don't take advantage of this and redub all of your content in Spanish.
Huge opportunity.
Huge opportunity, right?
Like, especially with the mass immigration and the Spanish culture that's building in the United States, regardless of the political landscape, it's a marketing fact, right?
Yes.
And so, like, typically speaking, in the marketing world, you do what's opposite of politics, right? So in politics, my job as a politician is to cast as big of a tent as possible. Everybody vote for me, right? But in marketing, the opposite is true, right? You want the smallest tent possible so that when somebody comes into the tent, they know they're in the right place. And then your conversion rate skyrockets, and then your orders go through the roof, and then you rank better for those keywords. And so I always find that kind of interesting on hyper demographics in the customer avatar, because if you understand this concept, then you know how to build the listing on Amazon. For example, if you go to Target and you have Dove shampoo and you go down to the aisle to buy Dove shampoo. So I know you and I don't have much hair to clean with Dove shampoo, but you know, if you look at the left side of the aisle, you see men's shampoo, right? And it's this giant, big, gnarly bottle and it's dirt cheap, right? And you look over on the right side of the aisle and it's this tainty, small, expensive Dove, but beautiful shampoo bottle. But then when you really look at the bottle ingredients and you look at the bottle side by side, it's the same damn product.
Right.
It's the exact same damn product. Why would Dove do that? Because the customer avatar demands it. They know how to sell the same product to 2 customers, but they would never sell the same product to 2 customers. So the same can be applied on any Amazon listing. If you sell a dog and a cat treat that could be purchased by both pet owners, you would never put pictures of both cats and dogs eating this on the same product, because the dog owners hate cats and the cat owners often hate dogs. And so you will push them away in your attempt to cast this big tent on your listing. You will push them away. But if you've created 2 listings, one for cats and cat owners and one for dogs and dog owners, you just doubled your sales. It's the same concept of like Colgate toothpaste. When some rando guy came up to them and said, I could double your sales. And they're like, what do you mean you can double my sales? He's like, yeah, the exit hole of the toothpaste, double the size of it. This is the same concept in a digital form. When you double your sales of a product by marketing it to 2 niches, but separately, must be separate.
Right. So different brand, or not necessarily different brand name. You can have the underlying company, but different packaging.
Different packaging, different marketing, different literature. What's important to a cat owner might be different to the dog owner. For the cat owner, it might be taste. For the dog owner, it might be, I don't want my dog to get fat, because my dog will eat anything. You don't care what it tastes like.
Absolutely. Wonderful. I love it. I think that your politics versus marketing is a way that I've not heard that described before. And I know
I'm crazy. You can say it. You can say it, Ken. I know I'm crazy.
But it could resonate with some people when you're talking about, the riches and the niches and all that, stuff. It's hard for a lot of businesses to niche down, right? And I've always said this, well, you niche down on your marketing, you don't have to niche down on your product, right? So
exactly,
I think it's a really good way to put it. Is
here's another example.
Platforms. Yeah.
Like if I'm selling toothpaste or a toothbrush, my target audience is not everybody with teeth, right? It might be 3-time divorced truck drivers, because I'm selling travel size, right?
Right.
And so you can go hyper specific on the customer avatar and win them, sell the same product to multiple customer sets.
Correct. That is, and you can do that with split testing. Like a lot of times with split testing, you go, hey, these both work. If I ran them both, then they would be more profitable, most likely.
Not only more profitable, but easier for you to go to market and easier for you to reach the customer, and lower cost on your advertising because your conversion's higher. The list goes on.
Right. All right. So I want to get into the nitty gritty for a second here, into what's going on in today's world. And you're my Amazon guy. If you have a product or a product today and you want to sell it on Amazon, if you have other channels, that's fine. You go to Steven here and he'll help you sell your product on Amazon. But there's also these Amazon guys that are out there now that are saying, hey, you don't need to have a product at all. Give me $10,000 and we'll build you a store, product fulfillment, and all that stuff. Is that a scam, or is that
totally
legitimate stuff? Totally.
No,
scam.
I'm going to go hard hitting on this one.
Okay.
If somebody pitches that to you, they are breaking every terms and condition. They're using drop shipping. You will have your account suspended. You will not make money. You will be racking up thousands of dollars in credit card debt. And it's the scummiest practice. It is automatic failure, just automatic failure. There's no passive income on Amazon. Anybody that tells you, pay me money and I'll give you passive income on Amazon, is a fat liar. It is hard work.
I would argue anybody that says, give me money and I'll give you passive income, is a liar. Regardless if it's Amazon or I don't believe in passive income. I believe that there's easier income than other income. But if you find a passive income, tell me about it, and I want on board. But if you find it, somebody's going to take it from you. I've got a Ponzi scheme
I can tell you about.
Right? Somebody's going to take it away instantly, right? They're going to spend more money on the ad or whatever it is. So you got to keep watching this stuff.
If you think as a 55-year-old retired guy that you're going to put 10K into this, and you think you're going to beat the Pakistanis who literally have to put food on the table tomorrow,
right?
Good freaking luck. I'm telling you, Pakistan is the hungriest country in the world to sell on Amazon. There is no country willing to do whatever it takes. Maybe the Chinese, but way hungrier over in Pakistan, and they will drop ship you and beat you on drop ship all day long. So you cannot sell stuff from Walmart on the Amazon platform and win. It just doesn't work.
No. And in Pakistan, you can hit some of these guys up and say, hey, can you give me a duplicate product of this from the same warehouse? And they'll just rebrand stuff and ship it over here for you in bulk. It's pretty crazy stuff. What do you say to the person that's thinking about opening an Amazon store and they're going to do order fulfillment, drop shipping from Alibaba?
The model was dead 5 years ago. If you're looking at this model today, it is so not going to work. It's such a rare thing to even talk about. That's how dead it is at this point.
Right.
And then Amazon is basically Alibaba light at this point.
Yes.
And so if you don't have a differentiator to your product, you're dead in the water. Also, if you sell the same thing somebody else does, you don't have a brand, right? Why would somebody buy from you a second time? Why should somebody buy from you to begin with? How are you going to win on price and keep your margins? it like none of these things are solvent. So like the future of Amazon is brand building a high quality product and ideally made in America. Now, hyperinflation, margin, geopolitics, all that aside, that's still the inevitable future.
Right.
Because at some point, consumers are going to want a higher quality product. They're going to be willing to pay for it.
Absolutely. I think both worlds will exist. Now, if I have a product today, am I better off fulfilled by Amazon or having my own warehouse?
Fulfilled by Amazon is a golden ticket to success. It triples your income overnight, your sales, that is. You get this nice Prime badge. Everybody wants 2-day shipping. Now, having said that, Amazon announced a couple months ago, buy with Prime, which now you can take your Shopify, your WordPress website and get the Prime badge on it, still using FBA's fulfillment facilities and get 2-day shipping. And the prices are unbeatable, right? Like you can ship something cheaper, more effectively out of FBA than you can through the Postal Service, UPS, or FedEx. And so the ability to outsource your warehouse is a phenomenal thing for a brand owner to be able to do. Because as a brand owner, you're running a full company. You're running operations, you're running finance, and you're running marketing. Well, here's the thing. Can you be an expert with an A+ in all three of these? No, it's impossible. So
well, the business can, but a person can't. I don't think.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
So if you are a new business with relatively low number of people, right, you have to pick one of these three things. And most of them that succeed pick operations. And then they'll hire an agency like my Amazon guy to do the marketing. In finance, C's get degrees, put it on the credit card sometimes. But like financing to get things done on Amazon, you can be choosy in terms of what products you work with. But in general, I like to use the golden rule of threes. Every 3 products you launch, one will succeed and make you money. A second will break even or slight loss. And the third will fall flat and just completely not work at all.
Right.
And even though I'm a supposed Amazon expert and I run over 330 brand accounts, I have access to hundreds and hundreds of brands' data, I still am at 1 out of 3. And as one example of one of my own failures, here in my hand here is my Sweet Heat hot sauce bottle. I bought 1,000 of these. I spent $1,500 even just designing the label. And I had a great product that tasted good. I eat my own product. It was great. And nobody was in the niche of Sweet Heat on Amazon. And I was like, I'm going to launch this and it's going to be fantastic. Well, here's the thing. I launched it and I got sales and I had 25 orders the first day. And then I started getting the text message pictures. Well, I had paid Amazon to do my fulfillment. I had paid Amazon to do my prep work. Well, I didn't pre-box this in an individual brown box to ship to consumer. I made the mistake of assuming if I paid Amazon to do the prep work and added bubble wrap around it, that they would ship it in a box. It would make logical sense. This is a 5-pound bottle I'm holding in my hand right here, and it's glass. But no, they shipped it in padded envelopes. Padded envelopes. So every person who ever sells on Amazon has to pay their Amazon tax. There is no freaking college degree for this. And we had about $8 billion enter the space in the form of Amazon aggregators this past year or two. Thrasio, Boosted, Perch, and a bunch of other big names. And they're failing. They laid off hundreds of people, like 30% of their staffs, after raising $8 billion in capital in a very short time period. And the reason is because they hired business suits. They didn't hire the number one skill required to sell on Amazon, and that is tenacity and grit. And when we're talking about Amazon logistics not shipping in a box and throwing it in a padded envelope, it takes tenacity to figure out how to overcome that, because there's no spreadsheet that can get you out of that one.
No, a lot of people quit right then, right? They put $1,000 into product, or more than 1,000. You bought 1,000 units, right? So that's $5-10 grand, probably pretty easy, plus all that other stuff. That's potentially a $25,000 to $50,000 loss to a lot of people, which for the average American bankrupts them.
Yeah. And by the way, if you don't have $10,000 that you could just write a check right now and not lose your shirt and still be able to pay rent, then selling on Amazon is not right for you. You
Right.
need to think of it as an investment. A lot of people are like, passive income, sign me up. I'll get money in 90 days. That is not this.
No.
Selling on Amazon is about building a brand, and all of the profits that you get will almost definitely go back into the business because you have to buy more product to sell to more people more often for more money. Like those are the 4 tenets of e-commerce, in my opinion. And so if you have something that goes successful, what are you going to do? You're going to buy 5 times as much the second time.
Right.
And so think about the COGS, the cost of goods that has to go into launching a brand and accelerating it, right? If you actually get a sriracha sauce, for example, and you go big and mainstream, then you have to build out way more manufacturing. You have to build more buildings. And so like it's super costly to scale a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So taking money out of a business in the first 2 years when you sell on Amazon is rare. So you got to think of it as an investment.
Absolutely. And I think that's the case with all business. Now, I would flip that and say, if you want passive income, the only way that I know how to do that is do what you love to do and sell that stuff on Etsy. Right. But then you don't have passive income. You're just doing your hobby. Right. And you're selling your hobby.
It's not passive if you have to box it yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't understand the concept of totally passive income. It disappears every time I've found that. It gets taken away from me pretty quickly.
I do have one form of passive income. It's affiliate deals, right? Like if I'm pushing some product and they enroll in the product and it's paid in perpetuity, I would classify that as passive income. But everything else that I do, whether it's coaching calls, whether it's running an agency with 300 people, all of that is tenacity, grit, and hard work.
Yes. And your passive can go away tomorrow. Like you don't own that. You don't control it. Somebody else does, right? That company can go out. They could, I've seen plenty of lawsuits where affiliates stopped paying affiliate fees, I guess. But
yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah. So wonderful. Steven, if somebody's out there and they want to start a store and they've got a product or they want to start their brand, do you have a couple of things that they need to have in place before they even call you? Or is it call and then have that discovery call and see how it goes?
Well, I mean, we do have a course for $10 at mag-school.com that you can go to and test it out, right? So like we're basically giving this information out for free. And this course walks through everything you need to do to launch a product. But from a high level, you need to have a product ready to go. And so the manufacturing process takes anywhere from 2 to 6 months to get going. And then engaging a partner generally 6 weeks prior to launch date is about right for most people. One of the things that most brand owners, new product owners overlook is the trademark. I have filed more than 1,100 trademarks with the USPTO, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And you really have to have a trademark today to sell on Amazon to get access to what's called brand registry. So having a product, having it ready to go, ready to ship in, and having the trademark are all key fundamental things you need to have done. And then once you go to launch the product on Amazon, you need to have about the same value that you spent on COGS available for pay-per-click advertising. So if you spent $5,000 on COGS, that's pretty much your advertising budget in the first 30 days to launch and test the product. And then from there, you can go up and down and see how it goes. Maybe you take some of the gross sales and throw that back in PPC and whatnot. But you better have at least the same amount that you spent on COGS available for PPC. So having that budget set up, having a marketing plan. When you go to launch on Amazon, you need to have everything optimized before you hit the go live button, because there's this thing called the honeymoon period. And you can leapfrog the keyword rankings and get additional sales if you go really hard and fast in the first 30 days. Because if you go launch a product on Amazon, you're like, oh, I've got I got these Halls freezers in my hand right now, but I only sold 3 this month. Well, guess what? Amazon doesn't give a crap about your listing. They're not making money on you. They don't care. So, but if you went to market and you sold 1,000 units in the first month, they're going to leapfrog you to the top of the page for a variety of search terms because they know that you're a serious product. So there's a lot of variety of things you can do to be ready to go to market, but by and large, sourcing and manufacturing and having your product on hand is a really important step.
And come out of the gate strong.
Come out of the gate strong because of this honeymoon period. It's a real thing.
Right. So I think what you're saying is that if you come out strong, Amazon's like, I make money on this guy. I'm going to keep promoting him and putting him up on the top of the page. Almost like a TikTok for you page.
That's correct.
Right.
And so Amazon is never going to go out of its way to help you. It is a buyer's platform.
Yes.
Sellers be damned, which is great for me. That's job security as an agency. But for Amazon sellers, you will never hear anybody say something nice about Amazon. They'll say, well, it's a nice business and I make money on it and it's 80% of my income. But they hate the platform because Amazon does nothing to help sellers. Absolutely garbage platform for sellers. But if you pay your tax, learn how to navigate it, and have that tenacity and grit, you will overcome those challenges and find success. If you are selling a product today and you're not on Amazon, you are irrelevant, right? You have to be on Amazon. If you try and get in Walmart or Target right now and sell in the physical retail store and you're not on Amazon, they won't even talk to you.
Right.
They're like, do you have 1,000 reviews on Amazon? Well, why would I even put you in the store at that point? Right. So Amazon is a critical core function. It's also half our economy, if you think about it. Right. One out of every $2 is going through Amazon, whether it's through their distribution network, AWS, or Amazon.com. No matter how you look at it, the platform and what it does, what Jeff Bezos has built, is half the economy. They're a giant monopoly. It's not a fair thing, but it's real. It's here.
Right. And the government does not know how to fix this problem for America today.
I beg to differ. They totally know how to fix the problem, but the CIA is in bed with Alexa. So, you know.
Okay. So I just want to give one piece of advice out to the world. If you're looking to start manufacturing a product or service and these numbers are seeming way overwhelming to you, look into your state's cottage laws and what you can manufacture in your house and get that manufacturing process started. In the state of Missouri, we can make up to $50,000 manufactured products inside of our home, right? So you can manufacture your first 1,000 products and try to sell them on Amazon out of your home. You don't have to go to a co-packer or anything like that to get started.
I have a client that sells vaginal suppositories, probiotic. She makes it out of her house. Sounds sketchy. I get you, but it's a legitimate product. It works.
Right. So and they make it out of their house. She's manufacturing it herself.
She is out of her house.
So
yeah, you can make soaps. You can do all kinds of things.
Absolutely. Check your local cottage laws, right? And what you're allowed to manufacture out of your home. As we're in 2022, what the world looks like in the future is a pretty wild place. The solopreneur micro companies are going to be popping up all over the place. They're going to use tools like Amazon and WordPress and Shopify to sell those products and services. So
you have to, because I mean, building a company today is totally different, right? So like I have 330 employees and every single person is remote around the world. About 100 of them are in the States. Lots of them are in the Philippines. I got some in Pakistan, right? All over the world. And what is required to run a digital company today is completely different from 5-10 years ago, right? So like I happen to be, even that. I happen to be an agency, fully remote, no physical building. But I like to joke that I'm an HR company, right? Because like culture and managing people and holding people accountable, right? Like my favorite mantra is be soft on the people, but hard on the issues or tough on the issues. Right. And if you can hold people accountable without being a giant raging asshole, I think that's success as a leader.
It's taken me decades of my life to figure out how to do that. I'm getting better at it every single day. As some of my employees will tell you that been with me for a while, that I've definitely softened as I get older. But you're right. HR is all about it. You cannot scale a company without having people. Right.
People, process, and product, right?
Yep.
But the one that's the hardest right now is people. There's no doubt about it. People are burned out, and it's hard to motivate. Costs are up, labor costs are up, right? And this is there's a reason why people are exporting labor overseas right now. It's because people are more hungry and willing to work hard overseas for less than the States, right? And so you can, like, for example, I got my chief of staff out of the Philippines, right? It's an amazing, talented person who had 7 years of experience working at Wayfair. Like I got that's where my chief of staff came from, is Wayfair. Right. And so I would never be able to get access to such talent in the States like that. It would be impossible.
Right. Unless you have to be in Silicon Valley, right? You have to be in the Bay.
And if that was true, I would have to be paying $300K salaries.
Yes, if not more. So,
and then taxes on top of that.
Yes. Stephen, thank you so much. One last time, and we'll throw it all at the bottom of the screen. If somebody wanted to work with you and your team, how would they get a hold of you?
So I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. If you want a job, go to myamazonguy.com/jobs. If you want to hire or talk to us, you can book a call at myamazonguy.com/book. And quite frankly, follow me on YouTube. I have 1,100 videos on YouTube with all kinds of tutorials, free advice. I give it all away. I share every trade secret I know for free. And the reason I do that is because I know it's really tough and you're still going to probably have to talk to me anyway. But
wonderful.
Good luck on your Amazon journey. Thanks for having me on, Ken.
Thank you, Stephen. Have a great day.
We'll see you.
That's it for today's show, folks. If you'd like to join my text line community, the number is 314-370-2871. All you have to do to join that text line is send me any question about business or technology. I'll do all the research and I'll give you an absolutely free, totally unbiased answer. Get to work.